right, hello everyone. So today we are doing a part two of our matrix multiplication. We're using the same matrices. Our first one, on the first part, we we solved for matrix A times B, and right now we're doing B times A. All right, so and it looks like the same, but they're not really. Okay, so the first thing we need to do when checking if we can actually multiply our matrices. Okay, so we need to do the check first. We need to find a dimension. Okay, so it's B times A, so therefore we have to start with matrix B. So the dimension of matrix B is 2 rows by 3 columns. And the dimension for matrix A is 3 rows by 2 columns. And so now you can check by looking at the inner dimension and they're the same, they're equal. So therefore that means we can actually multiply this. Now this 2 by 2, the outer dimension will be your final dimension. Okay, so that will be the final size of your matrix for B times A. Now, why do I have a 3 by 3 in here? And this is because this was the matrix when you multiply A times B. I just want to show that multiplying A times B, you're gonna end up with a 3 by 3, but multiplying B by A, you're gonna end up by with 2 by 2. And again, because there's no commutative property in matrix multiplication. All right, so let's do that. So let's change this the dimension. Okay, so let's override this thing. Let's move this. Okay, so now this is we have the correct size now. Oops, actually not really, because we need only a 2 by 2, right? So let's do that. Let's make sure, let's get rid of the other ones. Okay, uh, I guess I can do this. There's got to be a better way to do this, but just bear with me for now. Let's do the lower one. There we go. Okay, so now we have a, oops, not really, I didn't really want to cover that, but it totally got covered. You probably just need to forward this video up to the point where I'm done covering the. Okay, so let's just take this as this. Okay, all right. So the first one. Okay, so let's map this. The first, you know that it's gonna be a 2 by 2. So this first box is located on first row, first column. This second box is second row, first column, and then the third box right here is on first row, second column, and the next one is second row, second column. Okay, so when I'm giving this grid number, I'm talking about the final size. So that's why you need to know the final size. Okay. Now, what's the significance of each one of these 1, 1, 2, 1? Okay. So the first row, first column is the first row of your first matrix, which is B. Okay. So you gotta multiply it with the first column of your second matrix, which is A. Okay. So let's do that one first. Okay, so the first one we have, first row, is you have a 1, you need to multiply it with something plus a 5. You gotta multiply it with something plus a 0. You gotta multiply it with something. So you can see you have three numbers, so you have to add three numbers after getting multiplied with that something. Okay, now what is that something? Well, the 150 is the first row of the first matrix. You need to multiply it with the first row of the second one. So that's -1 here, and then you have a 2, and then you have a 1. All right? Okay, so now let's move on. The second one is second row. So this second row right here, that's -3 times something plus 2 times something plus -2 times something. Well, what are those something? Well, it says here 2, 1. So that's got to be first row again. So that's going to be -1. And then you have 2. And then you have 1. Okay? All right. So let's look at the third column. It says first row. Well, we'll go back to first row. So let's do that. 1 times something plus 5 times something plus 0 times something. Okay, now what are those something? It's a second column, so we're going to second column now. 1, -6, and 0. Next one is second row. Second row is right here. So you have -3 times something plus 2 times something plus -2 times something. Now, what are those somethings? Well, that's second column. So that's going to be 1, 1, -6, and then 0. And then now it's just a matter of simplifying those. So therefore, your matrix BA is going to be equal to, well, this is 1 times -1 is -1 plus 10 plus 0. That's going to be a 9. Okay. -3 times -1 is positive 3 plus 4. That's 7 minus 2. That's going to be a 5. And the next one is this is 1. 5 times -6 is -30, so that's -29 plus 0. It's just going to be -29. -3 times 1 is -3 time plus -12, that's -15 plus 0, so that's just going to be -15. So therefore, that is your B times A. Check out the other video for A times B to see the difference of those two. See if you have any questions, please write in the comments below.